if I don't know and I can't recall was a person, it would be this guy, Mr. Terrence Bradley. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the testimony of one of Nathan Wade's former law partners, Mr. Terrence Bradley. Now, this was really crazy and pretty confusing. Before we get into some videos or some breakdown and the news coverage, let's just back up a little bit. Let me just put my man on the screen. This gentleman right here is Terrence Bradley. Now, at one point, Terrence Bradley and Nathan Wade, the lover of Fani Willis, were law partners. Nathan Wade had a firm and Terrence Bradley was on the firm. So Terrence Bradley is a lawyer. He also doubled as Nathan Wade's divorce lawyer. So this guy knows the law. He is a lawyer, and he was getting paid as a lawyer in this case right now, the Trump election interference case. Because remember, Fani Willis brought on Nathan Wade and his firm, which includes this man right here. Now, apparently, he had been communicating with a woman named Ashley Merchant. Ashley Merchant is Michael Roman's lawyer. Michael Roman, that's one of Trump's co-defendants in the election interference case. And Michael Roman is the guy who brought the allegations of impropriety between Fani and Nathan to the front. Now, apparently, Terrence Bradley had been texting Ashley Merchant, Michael Roman's lawyer, feeding her information about when Fani and Nathan started their relationship, which was before November 1st, 2021. That's the key date because remember, Nathan and Fani said they started seeing each other in 2022. Other people say that they started seeing each other years, maybe even 2019, 2020, definitely before 2021, including this man right here. Now, there's a lot of reasons why he may not want to repeat what he allegedly said in the text messages in court. Let me come back, then I'm going to get to the video. First thing, Terrence Bradley was kicked out of Nathan Wade's law firm because of some allegations about some improprieties with young ladies, or it's just allegations. I don't know about any conviction, just allegations. He was kicked out for that. So maybe he had an axe to grind against Nathan. And that's why he may have originally been feeding the lawyer the information through text message, allegedly. The reason why he may be wanting to recant is because he may have been threatened. That was a question that was brought up. Somebody said that he had been threatened by somebody. Also, what I found pretty weird is that Nathan Wade was in the courtroom on today, right in front of Terrence Bradley. I'm talking about right in the front row with his lawyers. And then the lawyers for Nathan Wade would object when Terrence Bradley would get asked certain questions. It was really weird. It was almost like he was being coached from Nathan Wade and his people right there in front of him. It's like he was being intimidated in court because he may have said one thing on a text message, but then got advised, hey, don't do that. So then it became, oh, I don't know, and I can't recall. And he had to tell when he would, in my opinion, lie. He would get real squinty and then pause for a long time, like all this jazz right here. It was always the same thing. It's like, sir, what are you trying to read? Your rights? You know your rights. You're a lawyer. Okay, are you going to go to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks? I don't know. But I do think that Terrence Bradley, Nathan Wade, and Fani are all going to lose their law license. And this whole case has been a big time embarrassment, just like the Griselda Blanco case when Rivy messed it up. If you don't know, then you got to find out. But before we go any further, let's get to a couple of news clips. This is going to be from Fox 5 News. I believe it's local Atlanta, Georgia news. If you want to see any of the clips or anything I'm talking about right now, any articles to prove what I'm saying, links will always be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Clearly a reluctant witness. The former law partner for Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade offered no testimony this afternoon that conflicted with what DA Fani Willis said under oath about their relationship. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for Fox 5 News at 5. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryant. It was a series of texts between Terrence Bradley and one of the defense attorneys that helped lead to this extraordinary attempt to dismiss the election interference charges against Donald Trump and others. But
let's pause right here for a minute. Now, if this whole thing with Nathan Wade, Fani Willis, Terrence Bradley, if it's found out that they were doing something they shouldn't have been doing, mostly between Nathan Wade and Fani Willis, then Fani and Nathan are taken off the case. But more importantly, Fani, if Fani is removed from the case, then the entire Fulton County District Attorney's Office is taken off the case. Then they got to find another DA office locally to do it. Clayton County already said they're not going to do it. So that leaves the Cobb, maybe somewhere far away in Podunkville, USA, like Henry County. Shout out to everybody out there in McDonough, but I digress.
Let's bring in Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis. And Randy, you say that Bradley refused to repeat under oath what was said in those texts.
That's right, Courtney. Yeah, and even Judge Scott McAfee thought that Bradley would be the star witness in this case. But Bradley fought the subpoena to testify, arguing anything he knew was covered by attorney-client privilege because he was also Wade's divorce attorney. The judge eventually decided that exemption did not apply. Wade and Willis have already testified they only began dating in early 2022, after she hired him to run the Trump investigation. They also testified she did not gain financially from any trips they took together because they roughly split expenses.
Complete BS. Remember, let's just put it in context. Okay, Nathan Wade's law firm, my man right here, Nathan Wade, his law firm got paid $650,000 US from at least January 22 to now. The next highest person got paid $90,000, and then below that, $75,000. And not just person, we're talking about entire law firms. He has a firm, and they had firms as well. So how do you go from $75,000 to $90,000 to $650,000?
But defense attorney Ashley Merchant produced text messages to her where
Now, this is Ashley Merchant. This young lady right here is Michael Roman's lawyer. And apparently, Terrence Bradley had been texting her, feeding her information, talking about, well, I knew they were dating before that, all kind of stuff. And then when she was pressing him on that in court, all of a sudden, I don't recall and I can't remember. It was really weird.
Bradley claimed the couple began dating in 2019. If so, that would cast doubt on whether the DA and Wade told the truth on the witness stand. Clearly reluctant to be in court, Bradley repeatedly said his observations were speculation, and he only remembered Wade talking once about any romantic relationship with Willis.
I remember that, talking about, because they were asking him a specific question. I forget what the question was, but he was like, oh, well, I was just speculating. I mean, listen, you're a lawyer and you're being contacted by a lawyer. Now, I don't know who contacted who. I don't know if he reached out to her or vice versa. I have no idea. But you're a lawyer. You know how to talk and how to answer questions. If you don't have the answer to a question or you don't want to answer, you don't answer. You're not going to offer a guess or speculation. That's called lying. You're using a different word for lying, or you just want to walk it back because you regret saying it and you don't want it to get out there anymore. Maybe you got paid a big bag of money. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Ain't that how that worked, Mr. Terrence Bradley? But I digress.
I recall him stating that at some point they were dating. I can't tell you what date that was. It was made in confidence. We were in the back of our office. Our offices were the only two in the back. There was no one else present. That is all I can tell you at this time.
Well, defense attorney Steve Sadow suggested it was hard to believe that Wade and Bradley would speak only one time about his relationship with Willis. But Bradley insisted he could recall no other conversations.
Let's a little bit of refresher. According to the cell phone records, Nathan Wade allegedly visited Fani Willis's neighborhood 35 times before November 1st, 2021. Between, I believe, April 1st, 21 to November 1st, 21, 2,000 phone calls, 12,000 text messages, and 35 visits to her Hapeville, Georgia neighborhood, which is right by the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport.
Bradley's testimony lasted about 2 hours. Closing arguments are scheduled for Friday. And then Judge McAfee has to decide whether there's a conflict of interest here that would cause him to have to remove Fani Willis from the case completely.
And I guess the big question from today is, was his testimony, or evasiveness for that matter, damaging to Fani Willis and Nathan Wade and the continuance of this trial?
Let's just say he didn't offer any new testimony that confirmed anybody else's testimony in this case. But it'll be up to the judge to decide, how much weight to give Mr. Bradley, the supposed star witness of this whole case.
All right, so that's that. Now, again, he was billed as a star witness for a couple of reasons. Well, in my opinion, a couple of reasons. The one thing is because allegedly in the text, he was saying that his former law partner, Nathan Wade, and Fani Willis had a thing going on, a romantic relationship back in 2019. But then when he gets to court, he says, I don't know, I can't recall, I was speculating, all this, that, and the third. And beyond that, he was trying to say, well, look, whatever I said about Nathan, like, I can't say too much because that's covered under attorney-client privilege. But then when he met with the judge, Scott McAfee, in camera, which means, ironically enough, not on camera, not on the actual television, just like privately in the chambers. When he met with him, he was able to determine that his knowledge, his testimony would not be covered under attorney-client privilege. So you had to go out there and testify openly in court and be peppered with questions by lawyers. Ultimately, he walked everything back. I don't know nothing. I didn't do nothing. So we're going to see how this whole thing goes. I mean, there's text messages. There's evidence that he said what he said. So it's up to the judge now, in my opinion, to see whether he's lying, telling the truth. And then on Friday of this week, March 1st, 2024, yes, it's March already, we're going to see if Fani is removed from this case or not. And again, if she is removed from the case, then the case has to leave Fulton County and it needs to go to a neighboring county that can afford the expense. Can you afford the expense? Can Big Nate get paid $650,000 before the trial even starts in, let's say, McDonough, Georgia, Henry County, somewhere like that? Is that really going to be a thing? I doubt it, which means the case will be done. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this whole kerfuffle with Nathan Wade, Fani Willis, and the new person, Terrence Bradley? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think somebody got to Terrence Bradley and said, hey, man, don't go on the stand and say anything. Say you don't remember, or you were just playing, or you were speculating. Say something. You're a lawyer. You know how to use lawyer language to get out of telling the truth. Do that. Don't go in there and say that Fani and Nate started fornicating in 2019. That's not going to be what happens. So I don't know whether he got threatened, whether he got paid. Something transpired to make him change his testimony. In my humble opinion, it's pretty obvious what went down and what did not go down. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.